Every journey starts somewhere. For some, it's the first match. For others, the first dream. They come from different countries, different stories, but share one thing: the courage to begin.
So to start off, could both of you guys please tell me how blind cricket first entered both of your guys' lives and what drew you guys to the game?
Yeah, I can start on this one since I brought her into cricket. So about a year ago, I knew nothing about cricket, like not even mainstream cricket. I grew up in a very rural area and I didn't have any access to adaptive sports opportunities. So any kind of sport was very much unobtainable to me. And so I was at this convention for the blind for school, and the Indian men's blind cricket team happened to be there touring, and they were putting on a blind cricket clinic. And I was like, okay, I don't know what cricket is, but this is the only time I'll get to try it. So I figured I'd go and give it a shot, and I went over, and my bigger hope was actually I really wanted to visit India. So I was like, I'll go, I'll network, meet with the Indians and see if there's an opportunity for me to go to India. So when I got over there, they actually let me try cricket, and that's when, first time I was ever told I could play a bat and ball sport. Having the bat put in my hand and being able to whomp the balls, like that was the moment for me. I was like, okay, I really would like to play cricket. And so that same night, the people from the Indian team, Dr. Mahantesh was there, and he said, well, would you like to come and visit us in India next month? And I was like, sure, I'll come and stay for a month in India. And so my brother and I traveled to India for a month last year. And that was when I knew no cricket when I came. So I had a month to learn the sport, and I got to train with the Karnataka state team, and then I trained with some of the other coaches here and learned the sport. And then we brought it back to the US. In November, my brother and I came back to the US and founded our organization, and from there we found Carrot.
I met Abby at the same convention actually, but I didn't try cricket, and she texted me one day and she was like, oh, do you want to come play cricket? And same thing, I knew nothing about cricket, but I was like, oh, I can go hang out with Abby. So.
And then you just got interested and both of you started pursuing it from there.
Yes.
I came to the University of Colombo first, and then only I found about blind cricket. Professor Samarthanam started blind cricket in the University of Colombo. We had a domestic match before the selection, so I played and I became the best batswoman. And then when we are having the selection matches, I think they have selected me because of my progress.
क्या आप हमें उस पहले मौके पर ले जा सकते हैं जब आपने खेलना शुरू किया और किन चैलेंजेस को आपने खुद समझा?
बचपन में जब मैं नॉर्मल थी तो मुझे खेलने के लिए बहुत इंटरेस्ट था, लेकिन ऐसे अपॉर्चुनिटी नहीं मिलता था। जब मैं ब्लाइंड स्कूल में ज्वाइन किया तब हमारे पीटी टीचर थे, तो उन्होंने मुझे बोला कि तुम खेलो, और तो मैंने खेलने के लिए ट्राई किया। उसके बाद स्कूल टीम में खेला। जब मैं एक साल स्कूल टीम में खेलने के बाद मुझे नेशनल के लिए सिलेक्शन मिल गया, तो उधर हमारे उड़ीसा के स्टेट बोर्ड में जापर सर थे और हमारे कोच सुखराम भैया देवासी सर, उन्होंने मुझे बहुत सिखाया, और उन लोगों के वजह से मैं आज इंडिया टीम के लिए खेल पा रही हूँ।
Phulla, it is like Phulla Saren, she's from Odisha. There is one person called Zafar. He is a very big supporter. He is himself as a blind cricket player. He used to get a new girls in the team. In the entire India, the Odisha team is one of the strongest team. Odisha, Karnataka and Madhya Pradesh is present the strongest teams are there. So he used to get a new players. When Phulla came, we were literally when she came into the Indian team, the language is one of the biggest challenge for us because they don't know Hindi. And we are having the people from the different parts. Someone knows Hindi, someone don't know Kannada, someone knows English is very difficult for entire team. So she used to talk in all the sign languages.
Hello, how are you? So I heard that you had 16 grandchildren. So how do they feel about the fact that you're playing internationally and, representing your country at such a scale, World Cup scale? What are their thoughts about that?
Well, they range from different ages, but the oldest are really excited to watch me on TV because they know that they didn't think grandmas could ever be out there playing cricket, especially at International World Cup things. So I try to explain to them and be a role model to them that it doesn't matter what your age is, as long as you believe in yourself and your confidence and your abilities and stay humble, you can do anything in this world.
100%. I fully agree with you on that. And what's your main motivational factor to keep playing cricket, at this level? Obviously it requires a lot of hard work. I play cricket myself, and blind cricket, I tried a few. It's definitely a very hard sport. So what motivates you to keep playing?
Well, I was introduced to blind cricket by Abey and Drew from the Samarthanam Foundation, and they're the co-founders of this. I was a scholarship applicant and I signed up for it. The funniest joke I told Abey is the fact that when she introduced cricket, I thought it was some sort of bug. I didn't know it was an actual game, so she went and did a demo with me, and I got hooked.
I would say I'm okay at cricket. I play in my country, and I was not able to hit a single ball, and my bowling was not good either. So it is a very difficult sport, and it commands a lot of respect from outsiders to see how especially blind women are able to, in the US especially where the cricket's not as popular, come here on such a big scale, World Cup. That's amazing. And I have another question. How do you help support your sister? Because, she's like part of your family, right? And you guys both co-found. How does that dynamic work out, in a professional environment, in a familial environment, all of that? And then how do you help her skills develop as well?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a very complicated question, So obviously, brother and sister were very close. But then, there's building this is massive scale, especially in 1 year. So this has actually taken pretty much most of our lives for this past year. So we're together constantly, but more so we're working professionals together. So our personal dynamic has actually had a little bit of a sacrifice on that front, which is something that we aren't really, keen on, but it's something we had to do. But through that, we've actually grown closer. So there was that initial sacrifice of having that family aspect a little bit strained. But through all the things we've been to together, everything we built, now we're super, super close. So, I wouldn't trade it for anything. And as far as supporting her, it's really, she doesn't need my support. She is an amazingly, ambitious woman. She goes after things. So she is at the front of everything. So we're very much right next to each other, moving forward as a team. So everything we do, split everything equally. I'm technically team manager. She has just as much authority as I do. We're both co-founders. She's executive director of the organization. She's more than just a captain. She's the heart, the spirit, the breath of the organization.
The US team, of course, the country has a lot of diversity in it. And how does this cultural diversity show up in how you guys communicate and play the game? Is there any barriers that this causes, or is it just fun all around, good all around?
I think it makes it more fun. Yeah, because everybody kind of has different areas that they've come from, and so everybody can bring their own flavor, I guess.
Yeah, own backgrounds. Everybody's very different age groups, different ethnicities, and they all come together, and that has not been a barrier for our team at all. So that's been really cool to see it just drawing everybody together.
Okay. So about your brother, I heard that you guys both co-founded the organization, and what were the first challenges you faced while building this team and the organization in terms of funding, awareness, resources, etc.?
Yeah, so obviously funding is a big one because in the US nobody knows about cricket, especially blind cricket. So we were very fortunate to have Samarthanam USA was willing to take on that financial burden for us. So they supported us in the founding of our organization and getting us the funds we needed to be able to tour and teach. So that was a big barrier that thankfully Samarthanam was able to kind of overcome for us. And now that we've become our own independent body, it's that stage of shifting to where we're bringing in our own resources and, Samarthanam's our sister organization, if you will. And so now we're taking more of that financial responsibility. So that's been really, really helpful for us. And then the other big barrier was just awareness, which thankfully we were able to overcome, but that was definitely a big barrier. And once we got momentum going, it got a lot better. Because initially you'd go to events and you're like, who wants to come play blind cricket? And a couple people show up. But now when we go to events and we're saying, hey, we're doing a blind cricket clinic, we have half the conventionals show up. And I'm like, oh, we don't have enough room for all of you. So it's been really cool to see that shift in the awareness within the community for sure.
That's great. But were there moments, where the effort felt too difficult or too overwhelming, both logistically and, you know, for the sport in general? How do you guys push through?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we always could tell, like, we're fortunate that there was always a lot of progress being made, so it always felt very worth it. But it definitely comes to this point where it's my brother and I are the co-founders, so we run the organization. So when it's logistics, training, everything comes down to us making decisions. So, and we're both in university still, so it's a lot to balance. So there are definitely times where, like, oh my gosh, I don't have time for my life. But you know, it's worth it in the end. Eventually the goal would be to bring more people in, spread that, but we've been fortunate to always have that success keeping us moving forward.
And, you know, on the topic of awareness, Caroline, how do you think the cultural perceptions of the sport, you know, in the US, of sport in general of the US, shape how you and your players approach cricket as such a different sport, you know, not mainstream in the culture and media of that country?
It's definitely a challenge sometimes. People don't know what cricket is at all. Like she said, they've never heard of it. So it's kind of like figuring out how you can, explain, I'm playing blind cricket. This is kind of the rules of cricket. It's a little like baseball, but not really, and just kind of trying to get them to understand.
The baseball comparison is very real. It happens in Singapore as well when I try to explain what sport I play to like the international students.
But it's really not that serious.
Yeah, it's not, I mean, it's not like baseball at all, but there's a bat, so it's...
There's a bat, there's running.
Yes.
What do you hope fans or viewers around the world who are viewing blind cricket understand about Sri Lanka's love for the game?
Normally is a sports-loving country, especially cricket-loving country. So we think they will come and watch all matches because we are having a few matches in Sri Lanka. So we hope they will support us, they will cheer us.
क्रिकेट ने आपकी ताकत और कॉन्फिडेंस को खोजने में कैसे मदद की?
मैं क्रिकेट खेल रही हूँ, इसीलिए मुझे सब जानते हैं और मैं क्रिकेट खेल रही हूँ तो तभी तो मैं यहाँ हूँ। अगर नहीं क्रिकेट नहीं खेलती तो मैं एक छोटे से गांव से बिलोंग्स करती हूँ, तो मैं वहीं ही रह जाती, ना पढ़ाई कर पाती ना आगे आ सकती थी।
Rapid fire, so you guys just answer as quick as possible, all right? If there's one song you could choose while walking up to go bat, what would it be?
Oh.
This is not rapid fire.
One song.
Padma Sundari. Or a Chris Stapleton song.
Chris Stapleton song, okay. What's your nickname in the team and how'd you guys get it?
My nickname is Carrot because some of the people on our team, or some of our coaches couldn't pronounce Caroline. So it's shortened to Carola and then somehow it got to Carrot.
And I'm Adeline because our Australian coach could not remember my name, so he always was like, hey, Adeline, and then he started calling me Addie and then Ads, and here we are.
Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Your favorite Sri Lankan cricketer of all time?
Kumar Sangakkara.
Who in your team is the best, you know, jokester, prankster, and like, what do they do?
Our whole team. We choose our whole team.
Literally,
Malibu laughs all the time.
she laughs all the time.
She definitely brings
She's the
laughter.
youngest, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Shannon and Angela are quick
They're
wit.
always joking,
making jokes.
but they're not funny.
They're like dad jokes.
अनिका
Anika, क्या की थी?
वो सब टाइम में हंसती रहती है। जो भी मैम लोग गाली करते हैं कि ऐसे सीरियस टाइम होता है वो हंसती रहती है।
अगर आप क्रिकेटर नहीं होते तो आप क्या कर रहे होते?
अगर मैं क्रिकेटर नहीं होती तो मैं वैसे भी पहले डांस कर रही थी। जब मैं क्रिकेट खेलना शुरू किया तो डांस भी छोड़ दिया। अगर मैं अब क्रिकेट नहीं खेलती तो डांस कर दिया।
What's your go-to snack or meal after a big match?
Oh,
Mostly rice, chicken,
yeah, I mean,
vegetables.
that's what we're eating
That's
here.
what we eat here.
So
So
we're eating here, and lots of desserts.
yes. Oh,
Has to be the dessert.
yes. The desserts here.
What would you rather back in the US?
If we're back in the U.S.,
A burger.
yeah.
From where?
Anywhere.
Habit burger. That's what we would. We had training camps. We would always get Habit burgers.
A big burger with lots of everything, all the
Lots of
vegetables
everything
and
on
stuff
it.
on it. Yes.
And last thing, what's one thing you've learned about yourself through playing cricket?
I've learned that I can be a lot more patient than I knew I could before.
Leadership skills for sure.
Leadership skills.
Yes.
All right, that's great. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Today, we spent time with the newcomers, the teams and players stepping into blind cricket with fresh dreams and fearless hearts. Their stories remind us that you don't need a long history to make a big impact. All you need is courage, belief, and the strength to show up, even when the world doesn't know your name. I'm Yuvan, and this was Stories from the Stumps. Until next time, let's keep cheering for the ones who are just starting out, because tomorrow, they'll be the ones shaping the game.